So I got diagnosed in December of 2015 with ovarian cancer. I've always been sort of a health nut, sort of following along my dad's healthy nuttiness. But when this surfaced, it really kind of rocked our world. You know, we weren't quite sure what to do. But we knew from some research that we did that sugar was a big proponent.
Well,
and
that
we
came
needed
afterwards.
yeah, we needed to really steer clear. But I think that the biggest thing was I just tried to mentally stay positive and really push that narrative the whole entire time, doing whatever I could.
We went to the doctor, and then the doctor diagnosed it, found the mass. Wasn't sure if it was cancer or not. So that was December.
2015.
Yeah, December
16th.
December 16th. And first thing after he said, I think it's cancer. Don't know that until we operate. So then they said, well, we have time on the 21st.
Yeah, they wanted to clear their
They
schedule
wanted to
right away.
Operate on her on the 21st.
And at first we said, yeah, we want to get rid of it. And then we had some time to think, and we thought, you know what?
They left us in the room for a little bit. And we started talking about it. So this is going really fast. And we hadn't done any research. This was just all new to us. So we talked about it, and we said, we need to talk to the doctor to find out if we can delay this. We need to get some more information before we go ahead and have this operation. So the doctor came back in, and we said, look, we're uncomfortable doing it on the 21st.
Like in 2 days.
It's right before Christmas.
Our son
We would
was
like to
turning
go
18.
beginning of next year.
Yeah, it was too much.
And have the operation, if that's okay. And he said, that would be fine. Didn't think your medical condition would change one bit.
So I was scheduled for 6 cycles, 18 weeks, 18 consecutive weeks. I had an IV port placed and an IP port placed. So every week I would get 1 chemotherapy drug in my IV port, and once every 3 weeks I would get an IP chemotherapy.
First situation you had was the operation itself. And the doctor told us before you went in that if you were in there for 2 hours, that's good news. It probably wasn't going to be cancer. If you were in there for longer than 2 hours, it'd probably be 4+ hours, then it was probably cancer. So I was waiting in the waiting room, watching my watch, and 2 hours went by, then 3 hours went by, and then 4 hours. It's about 10 o'clock at night at this point in time. She had a late surgery. And so when he came in, I knew what the result was, but I didn't know how bad it was going to be at that time. And they removed a softball-sized tumor from her ovary. And he said the operation couldn't have been better, that it went exceptional, and that they would send it off to the pathology to determine the stage.
Staging. But it was already necrotic, so necrosis had already been setting in. So he said it was black, and so we believe that everything that we were doing, everything that we had learned from between Chris and between Ty, Truth About Cancer, just really, really watching our diet and being very, very strict with it.
We made some strict changes to our diet. First of all, we cut out sugar. We cut out all carbohydrates. And whatever she cut out, I cut out, to make it as simple as possible. We had a 17-year-old son. He was on board with the whole thing as well. We changed our eating habits completely. And we also did the PEMF
therapy. We do that too. So it's just all these really good healing modalities that we really just jumped in and continued to do all those things. I wasn't convinced that I even should have been doing chemotherapy with such a low stage diagnosis. I was really battling that. And so I met with this guy, and he really helped calm my spirit, and allowed me to just sort of de-stress over the whole thing, not giving that any negativity and no energy. And so through that, I think, really allowed me to kind of calm myself and kind of led me. Things were unfolding in front of me, more like not on the Western side of it, but more kind of alternative, I guess.
And I think part of the issue was, or part of the discussion was, that they were doing a Japanese study, remember, for your chemo. And she was selected to be part of this study, which the initial phases of it were supposed to be very productive, and the survival rate was a lot higher. So we were really kind of happy about that.
Yeah, it was like, yay, more toxins.
But after we started after she was going through it, she did very well through her chemo treatments. And then we started to, and you really did this more so than I, really looking at the internet, looking at all these sites about different avenues, different options, and we were never presented another option. When we were at the doctor's office, after the surgery, after the stay in the hospital, even though the cancer was not throughout her body, that
I mean, it was literally just in the ovary. It was all contained. It wasn't anywhere else. The pathology report is a stage 1A, but because the doctor had to pull it away from the pelvic wall, he staged it a 2. And he said that your prognosis is excellent, but I really want you to go through chemotherapy for insurance. And I thought, well, you know what, I'm strong. I didn't want to do it, but I thought, oh, it's not anywhere else. And he said it's insurance, so I did it.
But the big thing with through this whole process, with taking out the sugar, removing the sugar from our diet, the carbohydrates, that her CA-125,
Which is the cancer antigen marker for ovarian.
has been as low as they say they ever see in the doctor's office.
It's super low.
So
And they used to say, too, that they thought women going through cancer, or people just generally, men and women going through cancer, if they had a little more heft to them, they thought they would do better, like eating whatever they wanted. They thought they would do better. Well, now they watched me, and I'm sort of this anomaly because I've cut out all the stuff that should really be beefing people up, and I had no problems with chemotherapy. I didn't have any. So there's something to it.
And so after that, since the chemo was done, we've continued with that lifestyle. And every 3 months you go for blood work, and every 3 months it's the same. That her CA-125 is
Super low.
super low. It's, what was the last time?
4.
It was a 4. And 35 and under normal. And they say that, and we attribute that to the healthy diet that we have now.
Yeah, healthy body, healthy mind. I mean, we just do it all. My advice to someone newly diagnosed would be to take your time. There's no rush, no matter what they say. You didn't get it overnight. You have time. So that would be my biggest takeaway is you have time. Do some research, make some contacts. There's a lot of us now, and we all want to share.
And my advice is basically the same thing, that you do have time. There are options out there that just not what the doctor's telling you. There's other options for you. And having said that, it's good to have somebody to go along with the journey with you. That if you have a spouse or a brother or sister, whoever it may be, a mother, whoever, somebody needs to be holding your hand through that process. And when there's times where you get low, that other person has to be around to say, that's not an option for you. You need to pick it up and get going. When you're first in the office, when you get that devastating news, and it is devastating news, it is a gut punch. And that's how I tell people that we were in shock. And I mean, not literally, I don't think, but we couldn't process all that information that was just presented to us in a very short period of time. We went from going in there thinking, okay, this could be something bad, to, holy cow, this is something bad.
Yeah.
And neither of us, really knew much about ovarian cancer or even the protocol for the process that you have to go through. So when immediately they started saying, okay, you're going to have an operation, we're going to have to take that out, only then will we know if it's cancer or not. Oh, by the way, that's in 4 or 5 days. We cleared the schedule. And
Yeah, it just felt too much.
too rushed.
Crazy.
And if I had any advice for anybody and through that process is that listen to your doctor, then go out there. There's so much information. that's out there to find out and talk to other people as well that have been through it already. And that'll get you through it.